Good morning, my little friends. It's Miss Amy, and today I have a book for you about someone who's grumpy. And that's happened to all of us before. We wake up on the wrong side of the bed, just not sure why, just having a rough day. Things don't really seem right. Um, and since we all feel like that, all of us need different levels of support for that. And sometimes what it takes is just somebody to really understand us and to hear us and give us that support. So that could be someone in your school family, a friend or a teacher at school if you're going to school. And if you're at home, that could be someone in your home, just someone to say, I understand. Everyone has a rough day, but we can pull through it. And that's when it's so important to you to remember some of our calm strategies that can make us feel happy and help us work through problems when we're having a rough day. That would be things like, again, our deep breaths, our breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth, giving ourselves a hug whenever we need one, or going and getting a hug from a family member or a loved one. This is the grumpy monkey, and we're going to see, his name is Chimpanzee, what Jim needs throughout the book because he is crabby. One wonderful day, Chimpanzee woke up to discover that nothing was right. The sun was too bright, the sky was too blue, and the bananas were too sweet. Those don't really sound like problems, so I think Jim feels lousy about things. He just feels kind of icky, so he's making things seem like a problem that really aren't a problem. Those are good things, but he can't see it like that right now because of where he is in his thinking. Jim was confused. What's going on? Maybe you're grumpy, suggested Norman from next door. So this is Norman, the gorilla, and here's Chimpanzee, the monkey. They're good friends. I'm not grumpy, Jim insisted. What do you all think? By looking at Jim's face, does he look pretty grumpy to you? When I see someone who's like that and has their arms like that, I think they must be having a rough day. It's important to have compassion for those people instead of just thinking, what's their problem? Maybe something really did happen and they need help with it. On his walk, he met Marabou. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Marabou. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Marabou. It's such a wonderful day. So there's Marabou right there. Grumpy, me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. But look how you're standing, said Marabou. It's true, Norman. You're all hunched over. Look at him here. So Jim decided to loosen up. So he just thought, if I do some, little monkey arms and loosen up, I'll feel better, or they'll think that I feel better and they'll stop asking me what's the matter. Then he ran into Lemur. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Lemur. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Lemur. It's such a wonderful day. And now Jim's trying to be all loosey-goosey. And he said, grumpy, me? I'm not grumpy. He's like, I'm fine. We all do that sometimes too, and pretend that we're okay when really inside we're hurting or something's going on. And we need to talk to somebody about it. Your eyebrows look grumpy, said Lemur. It's true, said Norman. They're all bunched up. So his eyebrows were like that. Usually when we see someone that's hunched over and their eyebrows are like that and their mouth is like this, we can tell they're having a problem. So Jim raised his brow. He picked his brows up. Then he tripped over Snake. Oh no, said Norman, that's the last thing you need when you're feeling so grumpy. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy. So he's getting more and more mad because his friend Norman keeps pointing out that he's grumpy. That doesn't help either when someone's in a bad mood to keep saying, gosh, you're in such a bad mood. What's your problem? Then why that frown, said Snake. I think it's because he tripped over you, Norman whispered to Snake. So Jim put on a smile, that kind of nervous smile that he's forcing because he wants everybody to stop talking about how grumpy he is. Finally, Jim looked happy. Whee! Bump, bump, bump. But he didn't feel happy inside. So he was pretending to be happy. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy his wonderful day. "You should sing with us," said the birds, but Jim didn't feel like singing. "You should swing with us," said the monkeys, but Jim didn't feel like swinging. "You should roll with us," said the zebras, but Jim did not feel like rolling. "You should stroll with us," said the peacocks, but Jim did not feel like strolling. "You should lie in the grass. You should stomp your feet." Everyone was really trying to help, but they were probably getting on Jim's nerves. "You should take a bath. You should make a splash. You should hug somebody. You should laugh. You should eat old meat or some honey. You should jump up and down. You should sit in the sun. You should dance." So they really are all trying to help. These are all of Jim's sweet friends, and I'm sure they've been in a bad mood before, and these things have helped for them. But we really can't have people tell us what will help. We have to discover those things for ourselves, what helps when we're upset to calm us down. People can make suggestions, but we need to try them out. But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. "Why are you grumpy, Jim?" asked the others. "It's such a wonderful day." Finally, Jim had had enough. He beat his chest and he said, "I'm not grumpy." I love that picture. Look at his face. Everyone has felt like that sometimes. Oh, he just stormed off. He couldn't take it anymore. So he stormed away from his friends. Jim felt sorry. A little sorry for shouting at everyone, but mostly sorry for himself. "I guess I am grumpy." Oh, Jim sighed. And just as he was starting to feel really sad, he came upon Norman. Norman was slumped. His eyebrows were all bunched up and he was frowning. He said, "What's the matter? Are you grumpy?" Norman said, "No, I danced with the porcupine." See, he was dancing with a porcupine and he got all those porcupine quills in his backside. That would not make you happy. That would definitely hurt. "Are you okay?" asked Jim. "It hurts, but I'll probably feel better soon enough," said Norman. "Are you still grumpy?" "Yes," said Jim, "but I'll probably feel better soon enough too. For now, I just need to be grumpy." "It's a wonderful day to be grumpy," said Norman, and Jim agreed. So see, here they're just sitting together. So sometimes that's what we need. We just need to sit and be quiet and have someone do that with us and take some nice deep breaths and just think. And then we do feel better. And he already felt a little better. So see, he's sitting there with his buddy. So we need to remember that not only when we're grumpy or crabby or wake up tired or just having a rough day, we need to remember that when our friends feel like grumpy monkeys or our loved ones, that we can do things to help them too. And sometimes just putting your arm around someone and letting them know that you understand they're in a bad mood and that it's okay. It is okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel crabby. It's just, what can we do to not stay in that place? We have a lot of things that we can do, so we need to remember to practice them. Our breathing, some of our sensory things, sometimes just putting some calm cream on, taking some deep breaths, going outside and just putting our face up to the sun and taking some nice deep breaths, maybe laying on the ground with our eyes closed for a little bit and just breathing in and breathing out and telling ourselves it will be okay. But there's no good or bad way to feel, and everybody feels bad sometimes. So remember that next time you're a grumpy monkey or one of your friends is too. How we can help to make ourselves feel better and others. And Miss Amy wishes you well, and I hope you're not grumpy today.